We have January 2020. Let me speak here. First question. Which one of the following values shows perfect Christ inelasticity of supply? And when it is perfectly inelastic, it's 0. We have 1.5, which is elastic. We have 1, which is unitary. We have 0.5, which is less than 1, which is inelastic. And we have 0, which is perfectly inelastic. There's no change at all. Okay. So the answer is D. Question 2. A firm has a total cost of 1,250,000 per month and variable cost of $100 per unit. If it produces 5,000 units, calculate the total fixed cost. Total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. So our TC is here is 1,250,000. Our VC will be 100 multiplied by 5,000 units. And our FC is what we don't know that we're looking for. So 1,250,000 equals to FC plus 500,000. So FC stays. Then you make FC the subject. So FC stays, and we have 1,250,000 minus 500,000, which gives us 750,000. D. Is it clear? Do you get that?
Yep.
Go to question C. What is meant by the term supply? Supply is the quantity of goods or services firms are willing to produce at a given price and time. Clear? Is it clear, please? So that is C. We go to D. So state one example of an occupation that is in the secondary sector of the economy. Before we go into that, what is occupation itself? Occupation is any productive activity which a person is engaged with permanently to save its productivity time. That is what occupation is. That is your job. So for the secondary sector, we're talking about a sector that is involved in the conversion of raw materials into finished goods. Clear? Example of such sector is maybe a car manufacturing, a bakery, and the rest. Construction company, yes. Clear? So we'll move on. The next one said, define the term labor. We're talking about labor. We're talking about human, physical, and mental efforts that helps in the production of goods and services. Human, physical, and mental efforts that helps in the production of goods and services. That is labor. I think it's clear. So go to question A. Calculate the income elasticity of demand for a good of income. For a good, if income increases by 25% and the quantity demanded increases by 10%, you're advised to show your working. So, first, what is income elasticity of demand? Income elasticity of demand is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of the product as a result of a change in the level of income. That is income elasticity. So it is percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in the level of income. So here we have quantity demanded increase by 10%. That's 10% divided by 25%, which gives us 0.4. Is that what you got?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So go on. So use the diagram below to explain, use the diagram below to draw the likely effect of an increase in income on the equilibrium price and quantity for wireless headphones. So an increase in income brings about an increase in the purchasing power of households. Yeah. That means when the income increases, our consumption will increase, especially for normal goods together. So what will happen when income increases? It means that the demand for goods and services will increase. As a result of that, the new quantity demanded will have expanded from QE to Q1 to the right. Yeah. As a result, our demand curve will shift rightward from D to D1, bringing about movement along the supply curve. As price, we have a new equilibrium price at P1. Do you understand? Yeah. So we have high equilibrium price, we have a shift in the demand curve rightward, and an expansion in the quantity supply demanded. Okay? Yeah. Yes, we got it. So we'll move on. Yeah, I have the graph here. Yeah. That was the graph. So we'll move on. Question H. What? No. Yeah. Is it H? Yeah. No. Okay, yes, H. Explain one possible. They said the government of the country has decided to build a new hospital. Explain one possible opportunity cost for the government of this decision. First, what is opportunity cost? That is the next best alternative for gone. Opportunity cost is the next best alternative for gone when the choice is made. Okay, so now the government has made the choice of building a new hospital. So building a new hospital might mean that the government would be able to invest in infrastructure or education. Because resources are always scarce. So the opportunity cost here is the investment that will not happen, or that might not be able to happen on education or infrastructure. Is it clear? So we'll move on to question. Hold on, please. Okay, you can continue, please. So that's question I. Right? Okay, great. We have the data there, which we're not going to read anyway. It's there for people to read it. So with reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, analyze the possible reasons why McAfee chooses not to profit maximize, but instead operates the fundraising match program. So first, what is profit maximization? Profit maximization refers to making the highest possible profit within the market. So if McAfee is thinking about making the highest possible profit in the market for software, that is profit maximization. I think profit maximization is clear. So McAfee may choose fundraising instead of profit maximization based on the following reasons. One, McAfee might have switched its business objective from profit maximization to social responsibility. And social responsibility means what? You think more of the society, you think more of the stakeholders rather than the shareholders. So McAfee might have switched its objective from profit maximization to social responsibility, which fundraising is an example. You get the first point there? So according to the data, McAfee made over 2.5 billion in revenue in 2017, right? Which means fundraising for charity won't have a negative effect on its profits. Clear. And the third point I make is McAfee might choose charity as this may improve the reputation of McAfee bringing about new customers. Clear. So that's done. Only need 3 points. So we'll move on to question. So I will have to explain each graph, okay? So which one of the following diagrams shows excess demand? For excess demand, it means demand, it occurs when the price is set below the equilibrium price. We call it excess demand. It becomes excess demand because the price is set below the equilibrium price. And most of the time, customers are always like conscious about price. Do you understand? So we'll come back here. I have to pause now. Which one of the following diagram shows excess demand? For excess demand, it means the price is below equilibrium price. So whenever price is below equilibrium price, it gives consumers incentive to buy more. Because we, as consumers, we are always sensitive and conscious about price, right? So excess demand is a price below equilibrium price. So it means we should be looking out for equilibrium price here, it's PE. So we should be looking out for a price below PE. So our P1 should be below PE. That's the point. So the first diagram we have, so the first diagram is the answer anyway. So it's excess demand. So the first diagram is excess demand. So for B, there's movement along the demand curve. And movement along the demand curve could be expansion or contraction. So that is changes based on price. So it is not B. Clear. And for C is excess supply, price set above equilibrium price. This gives consumer or producers incentive to produce more. You know, the law of supply, the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. So C is excess supply. And for D, it's about shift in the demand curve from D to D1, a leftward shift here. A leftward shift here would have meant that demand has reduced based on non-pricing factors like income, fashion and taste, availability of substitutes. And this will bring about a fall in price. Clear? So the answer is A, done. So go to question B. Land can be described as which one of the following? It is economy of scale. When we talk about this economy of scale, it means cost increases as output increases. That is this economy. Factor of production, these are the resources factors of production are resources that we use in the production of goods and services. So that's the answer anyway. So a variable cost is a cost that doesn't change, that changes as the level of output changes. And for market failure, we're talking about the inefficiency of the market forces of demand and supply. Clear? So the answer is B. So move on. State the formula for profit. Profit is total revenue minus total cost. Done? So move on. So question D, are you there? So calculate the price elasticity of supply. For a product, okay, we have it there. So price elasticity of supply is, take care, the degree of responsiveness between the quantity supplied as a result of a change in price. So we have supply increases, we have supply that's increased by 36%. The quantity supplied has increased by 36%, and the price increased by 30%. That's both are positive anyway. So we have 36%. So QD, that's quantity demanded over change in price. So 36 divided by 30, which is 1.2. That's elastic. Clear? So we go to E. Define the term finance. Finance is the disbursement of funds for a project. Okay?
It's funding for a firm, correct?
Yes. That's what that's fund. It's clear. So we go on. Question F. Are you there? The Irish Artisan Charcoal Company is the only firm producing charcoal in Ireland. Damage trees which would, it's a story, I'm not going to read for that. Describe the type of market structure in which the Irish Artisan Charcoal Company operates. It operates a monopoly. Yes. Why is it a monopoly? It's a monopoly because a monopoly represents, it's a structure that has one firm dominating or one firm being the sole producer of crude.
Because there's one firm dominating the market.
So that makes it a monopoly. I think it's clear. So we go on to G, right? There's no one reason why this will, okay, there's a street lighting is considered to be a public good. There's no one reason why this may cause a free rider problem. First, what is a public good? The public good has a feature which is either non-excluded, it's non-excludable and non-rival. So that makes it a public good. So it is provided by the government anyway. So we have to link street lights to public good and talk about the free rider problem. Who is a free rider itself? A free rider is an individual who enjoys certain benefits or services, allowing others to pay for them. So you enjoy it and you're not paying for it. Others are paying for what you're enjoying. That makes you a free rider. So street light, because it's a public good, it's provided by government. It's a public good, so it is non-rivalry, non-excludable. It is non-rivalry if you cannot stop me. Your consumption cannot reduce my own consumption. It's non-rivalry, and it's non-excludable because it is street light. Anybody that passes by would consume it, the same benefit, with it, whether it pays taxes or doesn't pay taxes. Clear? And also, it's a free rider problem. You know, street light cannot be provided by the private sector business. Why? Because the private sector business are businesses that want to sell to those who can afford them. And street light is expensive. They wouldn't want to produce it without being certain that people are going to buy. Clear? So we'll move on to 2B. Are you there? The case study is there for them to read. With reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, assess whether wonderful works would have more benefit from remaining a small firm rather than becoming a large firm. What's a small firm? A small firm is a firm that operates on a smaller scale, while a large firm is a firm that operates on a large scale. I think that is clear then.
Yeah.
So I wrote, it might be beneficial for, being a small firm might be beneficial for Wonderful Wax or Elisa, based on the following reasons. One, Wonderful Wax may be able to offer personalized services than large firms, which means it can meet needs for customers. Candle it's done handmade here. For small firms, they have one advantage. The advantage is that they can offer personalized services. Being able to offer personalized service means that you can meet up with the needs and wants of customers because you can interact with them one-on-one.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage for Wonderful Wax, which large firms do not have time to do.
Yeah.
Clear the first point?
Yeah.
The second point, the service offered by Wonderful Wax could be targeted. Another thing about small firms, sometimes they are able to operate on a niche market. So another advantage about small firms, like I said earlier, is that they can figure out a niche. They are small. They are small. And the large markets have dominated, So the dominance of the large firms allows them to find a segment within the market which they could use as a niche. And if they are able, if they are able to successfully find a niche in that market, they could charge those special customers, a higher price. Do you get the second point there?
Yes.
So the third one, due to its method, handmade, wax, and the rest of operation, and the ability to offer personalized service, it may lead to an increase in sales. Clear. However, no, because it's an assessment. However, Elisa won't be able to exploit economies of scale because it's a small business. So that means Elisa will be witnessing an increase in its unit cost of production. That means no economies of scale, because for economies of scale to happen, you must operate on a larger scale. Clear. So it might be difficult for Wonderful Wax to increase production when demand for candles increase. As a result, it might lose customers. Why? It's a small business. Demand might increase any point in time. Small business would not have that spare capacity to increase their output. So it means if customers come, they won't be able to sell. Then customers will have to go elsewhere. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And the third point about not ideal to be small is that a large firm may be able to compete with new firms that we set up to sell environmentally friendly candles. If you are a large firm, whichever business that comes into the industry, you'll be ready for it. But a small firm won't be able to figure it out. And as a result, might even close down. Clear. Go to question 3. Which one of the following is an example of external economies of scale? What is external economies of scale? External economies of scale is a cost advantage that firms within the industry enjoys as a result of the industry becoming bigger. Clear? So bulk buying is not external, it is internal, which is purchasing economies of scale. Skilled labor, yes. Why is it skilled labor? As soon as the industry becomes bigger, a lot of individuals will be training themselves to be part of that industry. Do you understand? As a result, the industry will be able to, the supply of skilled labor would increase in the industry. And the industry will be able to have access to skilled labor. Clear? That's the answer anyway. But let's go to C. Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy will bring about diseconomies of scale because a lot of paperwork, a lot of managers to deal with, increasing costs. And managerial economies of scale is internal. It's an economies of scale. It's an advantage you have as a firm to be able to attract skilled managers to your industry or to your firm or to your company. Is it clear? So the answer is B. Done. Which one of the following is the main feature of an oligopoly? So what's an oligopoly? Oligopoly is a market structure whereby few large firms dominate the industry. So dominating the industry is there. Large firms dominate the market. That's C. That's the answer. Rising fees cost. Oligopoly, because there are few large firms there, They operate on a larger scale. So over time, even their fixed costs would reduce because it will be spread across other their outputs. Sorry. No barriers to entry. There's barrier to entry in oligopoly because they can heavily invest on advertisement to not allow access of small firms. So there's barrier to entry is not big. Specialized in the public sector. The public sector is a government institution, so it's not really people. We have the case study, which is there for people to read. I'm not going to read that. So let's just put it a bit slow, okay? Using the axis below, we have it. Draw to production possibility curve. First, what is production possibility curve or production possibility frontier? It's a graph that shows the combination of goods, two combinations of goods that can be produced in a given economy if all resources are fully utilized or employed. So they said there's a movement from PPC1 to PPC2. That means there's an outward shift. We call it what? Outward shift. Outward shift. An outward shift in the PPC curve could be as a result of discovery of new resources. I didn't write that down, but put it in your mind now. You could have a movement along the PPC curve outward based on the following reasons. One, advancement in technology. Two, discovery of natural resources. Education and training. Are you with me? So all these three I mentioned would shift the PPC outward. Clear? Education and training. Is it clear? So here I use capital goods and consumer goods. Capital goods and consumer goods. So there's a movement from the PPC curve from PPC1 to PPC2. Clear? Yes, done. Good. So we'll move on. We have the case study again. With reference to the data above and the knowledge of economics, analyze how the demand for labor might be affected by the use of machines. First, what is demand for labor? Demand for labor is the number of workers firms are willing to employ at a given wage rate. That's the demand for labor. And whenever you talk about demand for labor, you have to state that demand for labor is a derived demand. Done. Now, machines. How does it affect demand for labor? So I wrote, the demand for labor might be affected by the use of machine based on the following reasons. One, machines are substitutes for labor. The demand is increasing based on the case study. So companies, firms start wanting to buy more of machines instead of workers. And when they buy them, they are replacing them with workers. So that means they are substitutes, right? Two, if machines become more efficient and cheaper than labor, they will be used in replacement of workers. Three, based on the case study, Google has developed an automated assistant, right? Meaning jobs done by workers at the call center can easily be done by machines. So having access to more machines might reduce the need for workers. Clear?
Clear.
We'll move on. E, right?
E.
The case study is there. I'll have to go to the question. With reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, assess whether fireworks have more negative than positive externalities. Well, it has more negative externalities, but let's just go to the externalities itself first. Externalities are the positive and negative effect on production or consumption. That is externality. We have positive and negative. So fireworks can be considered as having positive externalities based on the following reasons. One, fireworks bring about colorful display on the sky, right? And people who don't pay for them might enjoy the view. That's a positive externality. Clear? Two, fireworks might be considered positive or negative depending on the situation the third party is. So I might be studying. This noise
Can bother
me. But if I'm not studying, I'm just sitting down and relaxing. The flash of the light, I could see it as entertainment. So it could be positive or negative based on an individual situation.
It's mostly negative.
Yeah, I talk more about negative anyway. So, however, the firework is considered as a negative externality based on the following reasons. One, it occurs when the cost of production or consumption is on the third person. That's what negative externality is about, right? Okay, great. Now, based on the case study, it says according to the case study, it says some former military officers suffer negative externalities because the fireworks remind them of their experience during war, which is not good. Clear? Two, according to the case study again, animals are also frightened by the bang, the pop, and the whiz sounds.
They get scared of loud noises.
So that is an externality to the third person. Clear?
Clear.
So we don't do that. Go to question 4. Are you there?
Yeah.
Veronica owns a shop that makes cakes for special occasions. The cakes sell for an average price of 40 each. Are you there?
Yeah.
Calculate the quantity of cakes. So first, the price is 40 euros, and the total revenue is 3,600 euros. We have the question to find quantity. And we say total revenue is price multiplied by quantity. So that means we have to make quantity the subject. So quantity being the subject means total revenue divided by price, which is 3,600 divided by 40, which makes 90 cakes or 90 units. Okay. Go on. We have the case study of the German broad group or German broad group. So the case study is there. We'll go to the question. With reference to the data above and your knowledge of the economics, analyze why government may want to control takeovers. First, what are takeovers? Or what's the takeover? A takeover occurs when a firm buys over a new firm to become its, and that's an external integration. We call it integration or external growth. Clear? Growth or integration. Take care. Are you there?
Yeah.
I don't them here anyway, because it's still or not.
Fine.
So government may want to control takeovers due to the following reasons. One, it could bring about dominance, just like the case of Vodafone wanting to buy over Liberty Global, which reduces competition. The first one is clear, right? So without government controlling takeovers, restriction of competition would not be there. And without restriction of competitions, consumers will not have choices than to buy at a higher price. So the third point I make is about Liberty Global itself. Liberty Global is considered as a rival to Vodafone. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So if Liberty Global stays as a separate entity, it increased competitiveness in the industry for communications, which will be good for the customers. But buying over reduces supply, reduces output. It becomes a problem for customers because their choice reduces. Clear? Any question? The other points there that we could talk about, but I think this ones are clear, right?
Yeah.
On 12 questions, 12 marks, and the case studies there. With reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, evaluate the usefulness of price elasticity of demand in helping the South African government to decide whether to increase the rate of VAT. You said you wanted to ask me a question before.
It was about one of the questions that we did. You actually, but you explained.
I explained it already. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So first, we have to explain what price elasticity of demand is, which is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of the change in price. Good. So the uses of PED itself, but you have to link it to the South African government. According to the case study, after the increase in VAT, which is value-added tax or indirect tax, many goods and services become expensive. This will be an indicator to know which goods are price elastic or inelastic for customers. It can be used as government statistical information. Clear? So, due to elasticity, the government of South Africa might receive lower revenue on taxes for goods that their demands are price elastic. So as soon as you understand that the demand for these goods are price elastic and government has increased VAT on them, government should be expecting less revenue in terms of tax. Clear? However, P is an estimated value, which means it might not be accurate due to consumer demand. So it's an estimate. So the real life thing, the real life event might not tally with it. 2, there are other methods that can be used instead of PED, or better still, PED should be used alongside other methods for accuracy. So don't just use PED for government decision. Use other analysis that would help.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
3. Using PED will mean that it has to be used to calculate each product. This will take time and may waste scarce resources because we have several products. And government wants to use PED instead of using maybe consumer index or the rest. So if government has to use PED for these things, government cannot generalize it. Government has to calculate PED for each product, and that will take time. Time is a waste, and the resources are scarce already. So that ends January 2020 past paper 1. Any question? No. So you said I touched the lesson.
Yeah.
And what was the question about?